Welcome to Cruising in the Light and Shadow. My name is Anana Moon. We are all cruising along. In this moment in your life, are you full of light and clarity? Or are you making your way through the shadow of challenges and difficulty? Or are you straddling the divide? Rest your mind. We are never in the shadow for long. We keep evolving, awakening, and becoming. We live in the light of our maturity and experience. Find courage in the fact that the light and the shadow are our companions on the road. Today I'm talking with a wonderful person. I'm finding out more and more about her. Her name is Liza Camba. And just to read her bio, Liza is a catalyst for creative and spiritual revolution. Trained as a conceptual artist, Kundalini yoga teacher, modern-day priestess, and professional life coach, Liza is popularly known as the founder of Luminescence, a growing movement for healing and creativity. A former healthcare and labor union organizer, she has a penchant for building bridges between people, ideas, and potential. She's committed to igniting creative brilliance on the planet by helping people heal themselves and guiding them to fearlessly align with their authentic truth and joy. Liza believes that every person matters, and by healing our wounds and expressing our inner luminescence, we contribute to the healing and creative potential of the world. Welcome, Liza. I'm so happy to have you here. So I just want to throw this first question out here. How did you start on your spiritual path? There's so much you do and offer and have to offer. How did you get started?
Wow. Well, first of all, that's a great question. And thank you so much for having me here. I'm so honored. Well, I guess you could say there were different moments in life and that I had this calling. And as I was going deeper on this particular social justice path and found myself really immersing and going deep, I found that there was still something missing. And so I decided to listen to a deep inner calling in 2007. Okay. And I decided to totally shift my entire life trajectory and start studying and actually beginning with myself, doing self-healing work. And so that's kind of how it began.
So that sounds a little like me. I started doing the things that I do now as a service or end work. Because I was healing first myself and coming to understand so much. Is that what you were finding also, that it kind of turned on you? It's like, well, I've been doing this for me, and then were people asking you, wait, how did you do this? How'd you get through that? What do you have? And you realized you had something to offer?
Yeah, honestly, it was a path of that I got to through elimination. I tried many different paths. and I was in a real dark place. And I was trying to make sense of a lot of different things and assert the reality that I was living in. And a lot of things were coming into my life that weren't fitting with the worldview that I was living in. And so it really caused me to go within and to really leave that life behind. And
so you made a conscious decision. This is not the road you're supposed to be on. Something else has to happen.
Clearly, or definitely at that point, something was calling to really take back my power. And I had healed myself from 5 years of chronic pain. But I dealt with that pain every day, and it was such a intense experience. And I realized one day that who's really here in control here?
Oh, yes.
Yes. And I remember going to so many healers, from Western medicine to all sorts of alternative practitioners. And this one healer who was working on my body, he looked at me and he said, you know, the pain that you're feeling, I can't help you with, and no one else can. And I looked at him and I had a tear in my eye, and I was so filled with gratitude because finally someone was being honest.
Not telling you they could take care of it or they've got that handled and so forth,
Yeah.
but really letting you know you're the one that was going to have to embrace your own healing.
Exactly. I knew it. He didn't have to say many words. It was just like, I think the massage lasted for 10 minutes out of a whole hour. And I looked at him and I just had gratitude in my heart and my entire being. I cried and I got up and I left. And after that followed a string of events. And
Yes.
I ended up leaving all that was familiar. And
Ooh. Wait a minute, scary.
very scary. The surrender was such a huge leap.
Yes.
And I didn't tell my family what I was doing. And my friends thought I was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up moving into this household with like 24 women and who are going
Wow.
through all sorts of transitions in life.
Was it an organization
No.
or you just, okay, so you just, it was
Yeah.
a house that had 24 women.
Yes.
Were
coming
a
and
lot
going.
of them going through transitions in their lives or
Trying to
just
stabilize.
trying to stabilize? Okay.
It was a
All
very
right.
colorful adventure.
Okay.
And then I found myself having mystical experiences with Guan Yin. And
Oh,
and then painting came back into my life. And it was just this a magical
Yes.
journey.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking to myself, this is amazing. What else is around the corner if I leap even bigger? And so
Yeah.
every day I would wake up and I would breathe. This was not before any training. I
Mhm.
just tuned into my own body's wisdom, and it said breathe.
You were in a place of listening now.
Listening, yes.
So that's because that often happens when we're in crisis. I think some of the greatest healing and the ability to know what's right for you, apart from what anyone else is saying, is when we're in the midst of that most difficult place. But it is called surrender. Yeah. So you start
Yeah.
breathing.
I started breathing for about 2 to 3 hours every morning, starting at about 5 a.m. in the darkness.
Yes. Amrit Vela.
That's it.
Yeah.
Um,
Or what's known, or what gets called Amrit Vela. So
Powerful.
in that early morning quiet of the world around you, did you feel more aligned or in tune with yourself and just your being?
Absolutely. It
Mm.
was so precious to be in the darkness and at the same time to be alive with the breath and the quiet and the calm. Yeah.
And that's what we call a yoga practice, everybody.
I soon found that out later.
Ooh, yeah, isn't
Yeah.
that something?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So do you want to proceed then further? What took you led you to where you are now? Was it studying yoga or were there other things along the way?
Uh-huh. Well, I just wanted to kind of tie up that, like, what happened was
Yes, please.
after doing this every day and every evening for about an hour before bed, for about 2.5 weeks, the pain I felt for 5 years completely disappeared. And it was this affirmation of
Tremendous.
like, the body knows we are wise, energetic beings. And so Kundalini yoga showed up on my doorstep. And, you know,
Yes, yes.
that was the first formal.
I do have one question. You said we in the healing of yourself within. Is that you saying we all are? But I'm curious because this happened for me too. It was like there was a we within me that was working, and that was one of the messages. We are wise, energetic beings. I think you're saying that of the world, but
Yes.
did it feel like you were alone or not alone in that most difficult time?
Wow, amazing question. I definitely felt a deep relationship with the divine, something that was beyond this physical body. And it was a very profound presence that was very loving and reminded me to show that love to myself.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we do spend a lot of time helping other people or looking outside of ourselves, and it's like, oh yeah, I need this too. That's wonderful. So the Kundalini yoga showed up on your doorstep.
Yes.
You were saying.
Actually, I followed some cookie crumbs too. But
Sure.
eventually, I took my first class, and it was like being at home. Yeah.
That was, yeah. You do, I think you know what yoga's right for you by that feel like, oh, I may not have known what home was, but now this is it for sure.
What a great homecoming.
That's
also.
amazing. So the next thing, and this is why you are why we're here, but this is also why we're here. How did the Luminescence organization or movement, I'm not even sure what to call it at first, how did that come into being?
I want to say through deep listening, and so I've been doing sound baths.
There's this deep listening that we've talked about. Okay,
Yeah.
sound baths, yes.
Sound baths since about 2011, and mixing the sound baths with yoga and consciousness circles with men and women, and I was ready to be done with sound baths, to be
Wait, well,
honest.
so then let's go back.
Okay.
Well, I've not had anyone on talk about sound baths, and I do know a lot of people don't know what they are.
Okay.
Please share.
Well, a sound bath is an immersion in sound that can provide deep healing and transformation at a deep subconscious level. And
What kind of sound?
there are a variety of sound baths, and I think a popular movement of sound baths, it utilizes gongs and crystal singing bowls and various other healing instruments. With luminescence in particular, there's a consciousness to work with some of the healing tools that have inspired my path, learning about shamanism, and designing the sound bath in a way as a deep journey into one's deep subconscious.
Is there drumming?
There is drumming.
Okay.
And rattles. And the other thing that's unique about Luminescence actually is we like to work with a collective of sound healers who are locally based, and we love to feature new sound healers who are also practitioners with a unique modality of healing. Some of the most interesting practitioners we've had play the violin or merge.
See, that's beautiful.
It's such a beautiful resonance
That's
in the
unique
air.
to me in hearing that. It lends itself. Oh goodness. The drum. My experience is more along the lines of being present for drumming. How is that? How do sound baths affect? What kind of things have you heard about how they affect the people that are part of them? Because I'm thinking of drumming, but the singing bowls, absolutely.
Well, sound baths are known for balancing moods and balancing the right and left hemisphere of your brain,
Okay.
opening up a space for you to deeply relax. A lot of healing if you're having a hard time sleeping or have a restless mind. A sound bath can definitely support you. I had someone come to the last sound bath who was completely full on stressed out and anxious. And it was his first sound bath. He had no idea what he was
What to
in for.
expect.
And then he came in, he laid down, and at the end, he was just speechless because he was completely healed.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's so. Yeah, it can be, I would imagine, that the alignment is what you really need. And very often we reach a point where we're just not able to help ourselves too easily. I think most of us can eventually, but yeah, I would see that. I could see that sound bath could realign you so that your body starts to function more optimally. I would think body, mind, and spirit. Is there mantra also involved?
Yes.
Okay,
It varies each sound bath. We will have a meditation, some movement, just to warm up the body to prepare for some deep relaxation during the sound bath. And then we'll usually close out with some sacred chants to bring
that everyone participates in, or you
everyone-
just let them lie there and let it roll over them and with them?
Ooh, that's a great idea. Well, in the past, that's a great idea to apply for a future one.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask if you set intentions for your sound bath. You do.
We do. And, there's something really special, especially with Luminescence, the community feel, the sense of connection. And really acknowledging there's probably a little bit more dialogue than other sound baths that I've personally attended. And it just feels like great to be in a space where you're recognizing different faces who keep coming to the sound bath, and it becomes a community that you recognize. Yeah.
Do you set your intention by listening to what people have to say at first, or you've set the intention, they come in, and see, I often intention is interesting to me because you can set an intention earlier in the day, or you can feel it coming in for an event, and then the people show up that need that intention. But I wondered too if you let them talk with you for a little while and then you go into the sound bath.
I think it's a little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Usually I will catch wind of a topic or some ideas, and throughout the day something more will come through.
Right. How long do sound baths usually last?
An hour to an hour and a half.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm going to be there for the one, definitely. There's an event coming up, and we will get to that shortly, but I wanted to ask Liza, too, about herself. There's something you and I discussed, deep listening, and it seemed to correlate to sound for you and music and so forth, but do you want to talk a little bit about deep listening, and is that a service that you provide in your work?
Wow, I love that question. Actually, yeah, I would probably say that if I could describe what I do, even though I have these different roles or hats that I wear, deep listening, being a deep listener is probably the theme of my work, really, and my service. So I think underneath all my work, the common energetic really is deep listening.
Okay.
And I find myself oftentimes in that space where if I'm engaging with someone, I can, either it's a foresight or hearing what is not being shared, what is not being spoken out loud. And when I'm with groups, I can hear like what is really the intention here, the message that wants to come through. You know? Yes.
So this is intuitive work. A lot of the episodes of Cruising in the Light and Shadow have been about intuition and how it comes out. And there's the clairvoyance and clairsentience, the gut level feeling, but also with that is hearing or clairaudience. But what a beautiful way to phrase it. Deep listening is definitely what I'm hearing, an intuitive ability of yours, and knowing when the right things are being said that support the feeling. Would you say that?
Yeah. Wow. Absolutely. You had asked earlier about how Luminescence came about.
Yes.
Actually, in 2016, at the height of our current president winning the election, if you'll recall, there was a lot of tension in the air. Lots. And
to say the least, yes. Yeah.
anywhere you walked and on social media, everywhere, everyone was talking. There was a lot of fear. There was a lot of energy feeding that fear. And I just got this download of like, why are we using our energy in this way? We can be more productive, effective, using it in another creative way.
Channeling it in a different way. Yes.
So that's where this download for Lovapalooza came through. This event. And which is a whole other, actually Luminescence is a version of Lovapalooza actually.
All right.
So it's this, kind of similar thing, all day yoga, music, sound bath, art event. And right at the end of that event, another download came that, okay, start doing sound baths and you're going to call it Luminescence. And it was such a directive. And I honestly felt like I had no choice but to be obedient to this thing, message. And so Luminescence was birthed as a sound bath. And then since 2017, it's just grown organically, just through family and friends. And now it's a festival.
Goodness. Let's see. We're going to get to the festival, I promise. I have a question, too, about all-day events. I feel like I've benefited from those through many years, just not constantly going to them, but here and there. What do you feel an all-day event of healing, whether it's yoga and a variety of other things, or listening to speakers, taking workshops? How do you feel that people come out of those at the end? What stands out for you?
Oh wow. Well, I feel that by immersing oneself in that space, first of all, you enter this field. We could call it in yoga bhav, which is love, right? And it's such a pronounced field that you get into and you're sharing and swimming in with others. And so
through a whole day,
you're like bathing yourself in this energy field. And something always good comes out of that experience where connections are being made.
Yes.
Right? Insights are being downloaded.
Yes. Yeah. That's been one of my favorite things, is how you go to an event and you kind of have, of course, no choice but to just see where the day takes you. The intention is set. You know what you're there for. You know some possibilities of what you can participate in any given event. But it's often, I find, it's the people you meet, and you have these meaningful discussions out of nowhere that feed your soul. And it is out of somewhere, but it can be quite remarkable, I feel. And I'm thinking in terms of people that I know who feel like it's going to be full of people. I don't like people. There's that feeling. Sometimes people are like, really, I have to be around people all day. But giving yourself over to this kind of energy, allowing yourself, and to me it's really being handled by spirit, by your higher consciousness, and then the spirit of the event, whatever spirits come and and support the energy of an event. I find it truly fascinating. You'll have these insightful conversations with people. You'll do different things in workshops. You'll sit and have lunch. You might go for a walk away for a little while because you're filling up, is what I've found in these types of events. So I encourage them wholeheartedly. And with that, then you can go from Loveapalooza to Luminescence and just tell us about what's coming up, or start where you feel to take us.
Okay. Well, when I think about Luminescence, the festival, to be honest, I really feel like it's a gigantic party with all my friends.
Hey.
And our friends' friends. And it just becomes this one family.
A party is a retreat
event.
too. I will agree with that. Yes.
It's a chance to replenish, feed your soul, and practice self-care. And so it's really an exciting day. This event, which is on, shall I talk?
Please go ahead and share the date and everything, because this will be coming up this weekend.
Yes. So it's on Sunday, September 22nd, at the York Manor in Highland Park, and it's Luminescence Festival, which is an all-day Fall Equinox celebration.
Yes.
And it's full of workshops and classes on yoga, self-healing, music. We're going to be debuting this amazing international project called the Unity Photo Project.
Oh, what's that?
And it is fabulous. It was conceived by this yogi named Olivia M. Swiller and a photographer who's Miguel Perez. And it's just these beautiful prints of yogis in postures covered in the holy powder from India. It is just so breathtaking too.
What's holy powder?
It's a special powder that is turned into sometimes a paste, or during the holy holiday. There's just a celebration of life. And so people throw this colorful powder on each other.
And do you mean holy, or do you mean the day called holy?
The day called holy.
The day called holy. Okay, I wanted people to know that there's actually a festival of holy. All right.
Yes.
So the colorful powders. Okay, I see.
So that's going to be an exhibit on the inside. It's such a gorgeous space to really be this inspiring, sacred container for our whole day. We'll be having 4 to 5 workshops happening at one time, and there'll be amazing vendors, and people can sign up to do healing services or readings with you.
Oh,
You're
why,
one
as
of
a
the
matter of
vendors.
fact, I am not hiding this. I have been honored by Liza to be asked to be part of the event. So I'm doing intuitive sessions, and then one of the workshops, which will be helping to connect people to spirit, be it spirit guides or family members in mediumship. But tell about some of the other workshops, because I really want people to have a sense of what they get to expect.
Great. Yeah, the day starts off really exciting with 9 a.m. classes. You can have the option of doing Kundalini yoga with one of LA's beloved Kundalini teachers, Satsiri.
Satsiri, all right.
Amazing. And you have the option of taking a parenting with awareness workshop with Jennifer Lakshmi Chand, who is also the co-founder of who is the owner of the Yogi Tree.
Oh, yes. Right.
We also have a workshop called, oh my gosh, pausing right here.
Luckily, it's right here.
Okay. What is?
I think there's so many things going on. I have there's no problem
yes.
checking into.
So there's a workshop
to see what's what.
by Eli Shoja and Nilu Nefari. It's called From Chaos to Clarity, or Confusion to Clarity, and it's an amazing talk that revolves around the wisdom of your heart.
beautiful.
And we also have an amazing geologist on site.
A geologist?
Yes.
Oh, who's this?
Her name is Sarah Murphy, and she's actually going to be guiding people to do digging for geodes or mining for minerals in the backyard. Isn't that
Oh my
cool?
goodness, yes.
Yes. And then whatever minerals you are able to dig up, you're going to get a chance to wire wrap them and take them home.
Oh my goodness. The spirituality of digging,
So
actually.
cool.
Yeah. Talk about,
And
primordial and grounding and
and fun.
fun. Yeah, and just plain fun. Exactly.
It's a great chance to tap into your inner child. And I mean, the whole day really is about having fun and re-engaging with like learning and community.
Great. That's great. Yeah, I think it forgets to be said sometimes with all of it sounding seriously spiritual and life-changing, that part of what's life-changing is just plain having fun. The experience of laughter is needed. Much needed.
So needed. Which reminds me, we are going to have laughter yoga as one workshop.
Great.
So that will be fun. And
that is incredibly healing. And I've been in classes where, one of the asanas is just laugh, just roll on the floor, bald-faced, laughing, crying with laughter, and letting yourself go. It's tremendous. That's almost better than a massage is sometimes what
I
I've
agree
found.
with you. And it's amazing. Oftentimes we think that we need to hear something funny to laugh, but we can induce our own laughter and receive so many benefits.
It's funny hearing people laugh around you, and that makes you laugh, which makes other people laugh. Anything else you want to share about how that? So, again, it's at York Manor House in Highland Park. It's from 9 a.m.
9 a.m. to 10 p.m.
The sound bath is going to be later in the day. Is that about 7? I don't want to get this wrong.
So there are actually 2 featured presentations.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
The afternoon presentation from 1 to 3 is our health panel.
Yes.
And the topic is the future of healthcare in the U.S. Ooh.
Okay. Not sure how much laughing will go on through that, but informative, I'm sure.
It's going to be so great. It's a very diverse panel of specialists who've been really committed to their work for many years, ranging from plant medicine to biomagnetism to radical nutrition to restorative yoga, the value of relaxing.
So that's a great workshop for people who need to learn about some different methods for healing and balancing, and that's great to hear. Who's on that panel again? You mentioned a couple.
Yes.
Is it a large panel?
It's a large panel.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's going to be moderated by Dr. Tiari White, who's an acupuncturist.
Yes.
We're very fortunate to have Kusela Hilu, who is the organizing director from the United Nurses Association of California, sharing the perspective of organizing and politics.
Oh, the politics of healing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we've got Moses Durazo, who's a holistic health practitioner and biomagnetic specialist. We've got Pete Lee, who is a transformational restorative life coach. And we have an addiction specialist who supports communities who are really going through that vulnerable place of recovery. So
that we're having such a hard time with in our country right now. Yeah. Yes.
Oh, Kevin Fitzgerald, who is also a healing practitioner and represents media, and the importance of incorporating media in getting the message out.
Yes.
About healing.
Excellent.
There's a couple more people. Claudia Serrato is a cultural anthropologist and who talks about culinary and culinary arts, and she has a very profound, radical view on
take on it.
on the diet and empowering yourself through your diet.
Because we don't do that much in this country with diet when you're healing. Other countries do spend a lot of time saying, if you are healing from something, there are things you need to do in your diet to help you heal. Pardon me, heal. I've heard from many clients who say, well, no, their doctor just didn't tell them there was anything they had to do. It was like, eat what you like, and then come take these medications or go through these treatments. But your diet has so much to do with how you proceed in how fast you heal and the progression of whatever you're dealing with. So excellent. Anything else you want to share?
Well, just one more person that we added recently, Carol King, who's going to be on the panel as well, and she has a very unique perspective on just the power of having acupuncture as a regular form of preventative tune-up maintenance.
I agree with that. I'm here to say for the last, I would say 25 years or so, it has not, sometimes acupuncture for me has been consistent if I'm dealing with something, and then it's gone to maybe once or twice a year, but depends on what's going on with you. But to have been able to say a good majority of my life, there has been acupuncture to maintain health or to build health is a beautiful thing I'm very supportive of. So that's nice to know. You'll have someone talking about that. So there will be a fee to get into the event. And that fee covers the workshops. Is that correct?
So the public has access to all the outdoor vendors for free.
Yes, there will be several vendors, and then some other, and then I'm
other
part
service
of
providers.
the service providers for sessions and Reiki and
Tarot.
Okay,
We've got
excellent.
an amazing reader, Nick Mather, combines tarot and astrology.
Excellent.
And
yes.
He's
yes,
a
that
fabulous
exists. Absolutely.
reader.
Good.
Good.
Okay.
And then the whole day, really, you get braceleted, and that will give you access to all of the workshops inside,
including the panel from 1 to 3, and then the sound bath in the evening.
So the sound bath is limited to the first 200 people.
Oh, yes, because there's only so much space.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's our most featured event, our signature event. So we will open doors at 6:30. So it's really important that if you want to make the sound bath, to get in line early.
Ooh, okay. All right, good
and
to
we'll
know.
close the doors at 7:10.
So let's give them the details here for the fee and contact information.
Great.
Yes.
So this whole amazing day from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. With our special promo code that is available till September 20th, just plug in the word radiate 99, radiate all capitals, and the number's 99. And you can get in for $50. And then on the 21st, it goes up to $60, and the day of $75.
All right.
Yes. You also have the option of just doing the sound bath at $45. So you got to weigh it out. $50 for the whole day?
For the whole day, or just the sound bath for $45? Okay, it's worth it. It absolutely will be worth it. And your contact information, so people either know can they reach you to ask some questions, but mainly the contact information for registering for the event.
Okay. So to find out information and to snag your tickets, go to eventbrite.com and type in the word Luminescence Festival, and that will take you to our event on September 22.
And again, look on Podbean or iTunes. I will have Luminescence Festival up for you. I'll just put up the Eventbrite link. That's basically what I'll do. And on that link is a lot of the information about the day, so you can see that right before you snag your tickets, but definitely register for your tickets. All right, wonderful. I have asked Liza if she would like a tarot reading that I like to do. It's just a one-card reading, and you can either set an intention. You do not have to share it. I have guests who want a one-card reading, and they don't have to tell me what it's about. I'll just tell you what the card is saying, or you can share that intention for the reading. You can say something like, what I need to know, or what do I need to know?
Okay.
Okay. Is there anything you want to share before I finish shuffling?
What share for this card?
For the card.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm open to any guidance that can support where I am right now and where
Lovely.
I'm going.
All right. Okay. And for the listeners, I am cutting the cards. And wherever you want to draw a card from. This one?
Sure.
Okay, excellent. We'll close the cards. Oh, yes. One of my favorite cards in the deck. This is the Star card. This is having the way I've always liked to talk about this card. It's about having set your intentions somewhere in the past. Could be near past or long ago past. We'll feel that out. Intuitively, we'll feel that out. But the Star card says, having set your intentions and having been on the road to manifesting, you're now ready to plant your seeds in outer reality. So if we're talking about the Luminescence Festival, you are now ready to plant your seeds in outer reality. Or it can be about anything you've been working on, but you're now in a process. You know, it's interesting. The last couple of episodes have been about the fact that we're in a harvest time, that from the beginning of August, which was Lammas, to Mabon, or the vernal equinox, we're coming up here on the split between light and shadow, and where that itself is a harvest festival. And then the last one, usually there are 3 in the sacred or pagan year. Halloween or Samhain or Day of the Dead would be the 3rd one. So you are in a place of harvest, having planted your seeds or set your intentions. The Star card is telling you, coming from a balanced place. Remember, I'm picking up for you. It's at this time, come from a place of deep healing breath, balance, harmony, which helps you get in touch with your insides, harmony. So there's that sound and vibration. This is where you make your decisions now for what you want to harvest, for what you are ready to manifest. I'm seeing you you're being shown to pay attention to all aspects of this manifestation. I don't feel that you will let anything go, but I'm seeing just how detailed this manifestation is for you. Again, whether it's the festival or whether it's something else, I'm hearing now is the time. It's not all in one brief moment. I feel like it's an expansive manifestation and harvest. So there's a lot of abundance that's showing itself. You've nurtured, it's like nurturing a baby along to be birthed. You've been showing progress anyway, so don't fear it, is also what I'm getting. Stay on, as much as possible, stay on the side of positivity. You've got this, is what I'm seeing. There's no negativity here. Some of this is about expansion. Your manifestation is about expansion and sharing. So it's fuel or energy that goes out and then comes back to you. And it's the last thing I just keep hearing, it's yours.
Oh,
So it's unfolding.
it's so beautiful.
Oh,
Thank you so
blessings
much,
here. Blessings.
Inanna. And I've really enjoyed our time together here. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. One last thing I'm going to ask is, do you have a quote that you want to share?
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right, that'd be lovely.
I think it supports kind of the whole work with the luminescence movement, also being all about supporting a movement for enlightenment, which is really a movement of remembering. And because we're already enlightened, and it's really just aligning with that energy of higher consciousness. So this quote I would like to share is, surrender to higher consciousness. You must basically understand this truth. I want to make it very clear to you. If you want God consciousness, and spirituality, then learn to surrender. That surrender is not to a man. Rather, it's to a custodian of truth. You have to learn to surrender to your higher consciousness. Without learning this first step, you may have all the knowledge in the world about mystics and spiritualism, but you are not going to achieve any results whatsoever. That is why we have been given a basic surrender order to those practitioners who want to study. They must get up in the morning. They must chant the holy Nam, so their soul may become clean and powerful, and their ego may become less and less and less. Surrender is within the self. Our purpose in this life is to live in higher consciousness, and to teach others to live in higher consciousness. The best test to that consciousness is humility, selflessness, and sweetness. Higher consciousness will never compromise with lower consciousness.
Beautiful. And to that I would say Sat Nam.
Sat Nam.
All right. I'm closing the show for today. Again, thank you, Liza Camba. I'm already going to say thank you to Luminescence. Again, I hope to see you there on Sunday, September 22nd. My thanks to Paul Preston, our podcast technician, to Kevin MacLeod for the music. Allison Warner, thank you for your help with social media. And listeners, keep cruising through the light and shadow. Join me in 2 weeks. Om Shanti and blessed be.